there, this is Oscar Mikey and welcome back to another Europa Universalis 4 episode. We're continuing on with our Luck of the Irish Ironman achievement run. Trying to get this wrapped up as soon as possible. We are at 1497, so we're not going to quite make our goal of getting this completed before the year 1500. That, as I explained earlier, is partly a result of those coalition wars that were really causing us some difficulties in the continent, but we're still doing all right. I mean, you can see the amount of progress we've made for the year 1497, especially given the fact that we decided to attack England head on. So I'm going to raise autonomy in all my newly occupied provinces. This will hopefully be the first time we'll get some actual respite from the constant wars we've more or less been waging as part of this guide. So we'll make the most of this breathing space. See if we can get to work paying off those mountains of loans that we still accumulated. Wait for war exhaustion to get to 0, and then we will opt for starting constructing those cores, just to save us a bit of administrative monarch power. In addition, I'm going to hire a theologian, very handy advisor. I lose 1 stability. Well, this is a bit of a problem. We're not going to be needing increased missionary strength anytime soon, so we will take the reduced cost on technology. We are very much behind in technology here, as you can see. That's as a result of, first, our poor faction leader, but also the fact that we had to invest so much monarch power in development and coring. Payoff alone, that's always good. Only 18 loans to go, folks. Now, England is being absolutely crushed at the moment by Castile. Our truce time with England should expire shortly. Okay, Liege has declared war on us. This is a result of us having high. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, high overextension. Aggressive expansion. There we go. Got it eventually. Dear me. Well, not too concerned about my lexicon at the moment. A lot more concerned about this war. This is going to be similar to the war we actually fought just before we declared war in England. Now, this is going to be a bit of a problem. We'll see if we can ferry troops over to the continent. Yeah. Yeah, this is so much for the respite. Looks like we're going to be back into the throes of endless war here. Now, they do have an infantry advantage, but we actually have similar numbers of cavalry. So hopefully, if I can ferry my troops over to France quickly, we can do that. We can maybe win this war, although I'm not even sure if that's possible at this point. We'll see how we do. Gotta get those troops ferried over to France as soon as possible. We could get a stack wipe here, that would be great. It is looking quite likely. You can see Burgundy just had some noble rebels spawn in Rethel, just as they were trying to reinforce that army, so that's kind of handy. Increase my diplomatic technology. Yeah, we win that battle. Not able to get the stack wipe, but that'll give us some time to prepare against this huge Burgundian army that's about to move into Champagne. So I'm not. Yeah, right. Well, France is going to. I hope France doesn't take any offensive battles here. They really need to hold some good defensive terrain, like in the province we're currently at. So I'm not sure if we can win this war. We'll try and prevent France from being steamrolled, then we might have a chance of getting a white peace. Since I believe it's a show superiority, casus belli, which means we only need to win 80% of the only need to win 80% of the battles to succeed here. Now, I don't know why our army morale started so low. You can see at the start of this battle, we really had quite atrocious army morale, and that's going to be a big problem. We're inflicting heavy casualties in the attacker and ferrying over some infantry units. That'll help replenish our morale, but if we could win this battle, that would be great. But here comes another 20,000 troops. Yeah. Yeah, this is a big problem. We are inflicting very heavy casualties in the attacking force. We have slightly higher military tactics and discipline. We're getting some bad rolls now. So just overwhelming numbers. You can see the amount of troops they're streaming in. They have total numerical superiority. It's going to be a big problem. It means we're going to lose this battle. Hopefully we'll be able to retreat in good order. But for the most part, this war is looking pretty disastrous. Yeah, we inflict heavy casualties, mostly infantry. But again, this is going to be problematic. So hopefully my plan is changing a little bit. I can't afford this war to drag on for too long. We're too heavily in debt, and we got to take out England ASAP. So if we can have peace concessions, if they're insistent upon demanding us we release nations, then obviously we'll have to prosecute the war to its conclusion. But hopefully we can give them some French territory as part of concessions. Since for the most part now France has become a liability, they were a battering ram at the start of the game. Now though we can discard the alliance, we don't really need them anymore. We've sufficiently beat up England to a position where we can more or less roll them over. So severing this alliance with France is going to be perfectly fine. We did need them though, obviously. We needed them up to this point. If we had abrogated the alliance prior to that declaration of war, then we'd be up against a huge coalition. And we don't really have a big enough fleet to prevent them from launching amphibious landings. So it could have gotten pretty messy here, but as it is, we had France on our side, and that is both a blessing and a curse. Blessing in the sense that it means that their troops are going to be concentrated in France. Curse in the sense that France seems to be inept at army control and army movement. And that's going to have the effect of losing us this war. So France is going to attack into Bourbon. Now, what I'm trying to do is wedge myself in between the... Yeah, you can see that. So they're going to attack into Orléans. That will buy France enough time to completely win that battle against Burgundy and Bourbon. Grant a generalship. Let's see if we can get... no, he's not that good at all. Okay, so we'll keep our faction leader as a general. So we have one fire-free shock. We're going to need all that we can get to win this defensive battle. France is reinforcing, so who knows? They're going to take a -1. You can see how bad our army morale is, and we get a bad shock roll. Second shock roll's pretty bad. Next fire roll's 9-1. Finally, a decent shock roll. Is France going to reinforce us in time? They do, so that's good news. Has the tide turned? We've just off the back of 2 victories against Burgundy and the coalition, the masses of Holy Roman Empire states, so things are looking a little more positive now. Now France is going to attack straight into Paris. I will go ahead and see if I can reinforce. They should win those battles handedly. Okay, never mind. So here come the masses of Holy Roman Empire armies. So France is not going to win that battle. They have 50,000 troops in Paris. Yeah, okay, so that's one siege that they will successfully complete. War, interminable war. Alright, so I've seen that there's a army in Normandy, low army morale. We'll attack, see if we can do any damage to it. They are going to reinforce quickly. That's fine though, I have the option of retreating now, which I will have to take. Okay, so we actually inflict quite high casualties on them, but we do have to retreat, so we ultimately lose the battle. Still a worthwhile trade in my opinion. France is regrouping in southeast of their country. Yeah, I'm not particularly confident about the outcome of this war. I am prepared to have France give them concessions if that's all they want. Hopefully, if we can stack wipe this army, we do. Okay, so there's a good victory. Eliminate 8,000 troops. And France seems to have won another battle, so I'll reinforce in Berry. And we can keep this momentum. We have a fighting chance. I'll hire a discipline advisor. That will help boost us now that we have quite a considerable number of troops. Now, we are out of manpower now, so future troops are going to be pure mercenaries. I'll move into Orléans and see if I can take out this 1,000 man regiment. Time this correctly. Make sure I don't engage the larger stack of 5,600 troops. Yeah. So we're still outnumbered heavily, but we have been able to secure a couple nice little victories. Now this is what I was afraid of. If France does something stupid like send all their troops to Raphael and simply content themselves with sieging down that fortification, I'm not going to be able to hold the line here, so I'm going to have to retreat to the south of France. You can see that means that puts a Burgundian army in between my army and the French army, which means my options for reinforcing are pretty limited. Now they have engaged a weaker army led by Brabant, you can see up there, which he should win. Still though, I'm not sure if it's worthwhile considering they're about to complete the siege of Paris. Hopefully they'll win that battle, I mean they outnumber them. Okay, they do, France does win that battle. I'm not able to reinforce and help them out though, so, and it looks like they're going to attack into Paris. That is probably the worst decision they could possibly make. Now that my war exhaustion has been reduced, I'll go ahead and get those cores completed, because we're going to need to core them at some point. So this battle's not going to go too well for the big blue blob here. This was the exact decision they needed not to take. So I'm going to get the heck out of here and hope that I can retreat in time. Yeah, so France, as I say, has blundered once again. And that leaves us in a pretty uncomfortable position here. We still have positive war score somehow, but that will change when the siege of Paris is completed. And we're getting to a stage where there's going to be too many fortifications in the north of France for us to have any chance of having a material impact in the course of the war. So I'm, for the most part, cutting my losses now. Hopefully we'll be able to offer a peace treaty where France gives up a ton of territory, but we're left relatively unscathed. Importing naval supplies. We'll take the mercantilism since we don't really have much use for diplomatic monarch power at the moment. So France is going to attack again. Again, the exact thing that they shouldn't be doing given the fact that we're outnumbered. I'm probably going to have to reinforce if they do. Yeah, this battle's only going to go one way. getting atrocious rolls, and we're going to lose that battle. Okay, so France is now being attacked by Castile as well. Now I have to obviously decline. It would literally be impossible for me to progress if I was at war with both this coalition and Castile. So that has confirmed for me the inevitable that we are going to have to peace out of this war as soon as possible, and unfortunately leave our long-time ally France to its fate. We got bigger fish to fry, and we certainly can't afford to go down with France and the sort of Titanic here. Let's see what we can offer them. Oh boy, they are going to ask for a lot. I am not going to give them anything, so... see what they'll accept in terms of releasing nations. So release Alençon and Berry, and we give them Liege. They're still not content. Wow. So we're going to have to go ahead and peace out for the 100% war score. France is going to lose a lot of territory. We're going to lose a bit of money. We'll lose a lot of money, actually. We're going to have to take out another loan. But hopefully that will give France a fighting chance against Castile. That they are currently engaged against, Castile and Portugal. They might actually be able to win that war. So by piecing out here, might have actually done France a bit of a favour. But now that we're no longer allied with France, and we probably have significantly reduced aggressive expansion, we should be free to complete the conquest of England, which is what this guide's been all about. I will destroy all my fortifications, since we have absolutely no use for them anymore. England's not going to be a problem. And we'll ferry what remaining troops we have back to England. Zero manpower, 19 loaned, 18 loaned actually. 5,000 troops. Desperate position. Right, we'll finish those fabricating those claims in England. Of course, that has the effect of reducing the cost of coin by 10%, saving us a bit of administrative monarch power, which we absolutely need. We're just over halfway to coing those English provinces, and once we've done that, truce time has long since expired, I think, so we should be able to declare war on England very shortly and sort of wrap this up. I can't imagine England is allied with many other nations at this stage, considering the fact that they've been attacked by myself and they're just off the back of a war with Castile. More loans to renew, more inflation to be added. I know that when you get above a certain threshold of inflation, you start finding some really horrific events. Okay, so our faction leader's died, and that is the best news we've got in a while, because our new faction leader is really, really decent. He's got 445 stats. That puts him about 4 above average, which is what we really needed. My goodness, look at all those events. So we are gonna have to deal with those rebels. We got no manpower, so we're gonna have to hire some mercenaries, which we will presently do. Move our army over to the province where the troops are gonna rise up, and we can quickly dispatch these rebels and attack England. We're basically on our way to completing this achievement. Go to a states interaction, get the additional monarch power, something we desperately need. Now, I believe, if I recall this correctly, you have 3 months to make a decision based off an event before the event will automatically fire. So we take the defensive battle, able to mop them up pretty quickly, pursue them into monster, and stack wipe them there. Bordering increases. So I think this is one of the events you get when you have inflation above 3, I believe. We have a new heir. Heir is useless. 133, 2 below average. So I'm going to spend just a little bit of administrative monarch power on reducing inflation. Since again, when you get up to about 30 inflation, it's an event that fires. I think it's called currency debased or currency destabilized. And if I recall correctly, you take a bunch of stability loss and income loss as a result of that event. It does randomly fire when you pay high inflation. So we will lower our inflation a little bit because that will spare us from one of the worst events in the game, really. And we'll spend our excess military power on ploughing into that idea group quality, which is always a great idea group to start with. Quality, probably the best overall of the military ideas. Cottage industry, now this is a great decision. Gain basically free base production, we'll go ahead and take it. We do have a disloyal estate, but we're going to just have to tolerate that for the meantime, since we have no way of increasing loyalty without also increasing influence, which is at 74%. And we'll see if we can repay another loan. We're down to 16. $16 loans is still higher than I generally like, but of course renewing all those loans has the effect of driving up our inflation ever still. One more claim to fabricate in Oxfordshire. We'll keep our theologian, reducing revolt risk for now, since we do have potential rebel factions here, and we're at -1 stability as well. Interest is now 5.35 ducats per month, which is about 33% of our total income. Ouch. And we'll reduce our inflation a little more. That will also have the effect of increasing our income. So we did, of course, use that papal estates interaction to lower our interest that we have to repay. Could also consider taking up another one of these. Getting 50% national tax modifier. We'll go ahead and take it, since we really do need to start worrying about these. Okay, so right, so we need to get our stability at 1 right away. We're going to be hit by a peasant's war. Ouch. That would suck. Okay, so must avoid the Peasants' War at all costs. One of my least favourite disasters. So we've got enough 99.5%. Peasants' War. God damn it. Okay, so what lesson do we learn today? I shouldn't have spent all that administrative monarch power in reducing inflation, even though my intentions were good. I was desperately trying to boost my income and prevent myself from getting the currency destabilized event. But as a result, due to that oversight and the fact that we lost that stability due to losing our faction leader, we get hit by a peasants' war, which we couldn't have avoided. Yeah, okay. Well, this is unfortunately one of the drawbacks at playing at quick speed.